Hello, my little goblins. We're here and now we are playing Vaylantz. And before you guys click off this video, which I know you guys want to because you see the fossil Dyna, we're going to show you how to combo with this deck. We're going to have two games showcasing this deck so you guys can see how this deck plays, right? And then we are going to go into a going second Vaylantz deck, which we will show after those games. All right, so we're going to show two Vaylantz decks. We're going to show this one, and then we're going to show the going second one. Personally, the going second one's a lot more fun to see, watch. This deck obviously is almost an instant win if you go first. So if you go first and your opponent has mediocre interrupts, let's just say one Ash or something like that, you're most likely winning the game. So we're going to showcase this deck, and then we're going to go right into the next one. So look out for it, and let's go. Hello, we're here with game number one with this deck, and again, our opener is very, very strong. We have even Small World in case we're missing anything. We're gonna combo. This is gonna let us so if you guys don't know what this card does, this card lets you either search the field spell, or it lets you get this card, which is one of the new cards that came out, Soul Activation. This card's crazy because it lets you put a card here. Since we already had Soul Activation, we put the Shinomi here, and then we search the field spell. And then when you can use this almost as like a mini Senate switch, where you can move the card around. Once you move it around, you get to search a Vaylantz monster out of your deck. And these Vaylantz cards, this is kind of what they do. They do a lot of special summoning before they actually even pen summon. So we're going to go into Electromite. You have to go into Electromite for the combo because you need to make sure you get Majesty Pegasus in the extra deck, because that's how we're going to be searching our Spellcaster's Village. We pop, we grab this. Make sure you do not grab Majesty's Pegasus off Spellcaster's Village, because if you read what these cards say, they pretty much say you cannot special summon another monster that's Vaylantz, that's non-Vaylantz, unless it's coming from the extra deck. So this kind of bypasses that ruling. So we're going to special summon. We're going to go into our Beyond. Beyond is going to grab our high scale. This is a high skill you always want to have in hand, because this is the one that's going to allow you to not only go into your entire board, but it also gives you protection if you read this effect. So boom, we summon everything. You want to make sure you get at least 2 level 4s on the field, because you need to go into Gallant Granite to grab our Fossil Dyna. So here we go. Here's Fossil Dyna. Boom. Removing this to grab that. Here's Celine. Move that card up. We go into IP. Sadly, I have to go into IP because I kind of messed up here. With the Gallant Granite, I was supposed to discard. I was supposed to send Scion to the graveyard, but I have a force of habit of using the XZ monster to send Majesty Pegasus from playing Draco Slayers, because that's usually what you did in Draco Slayers. So you're supposed to send the Spellcaster that's a Vaylantz in that case. But here we go. Boom, it goes. Then we go into Apollosa. So we just wasted a body for the IP. But this is pretty much the end board. Basic end board. You pretty much, with this end board, we have 2 pops with Scion and Arkatos. We have 2 monster negates. They're locked out of special summoning everything that's not a rock monster, or just locked out of special summoning in general. And they also cannot evenly match us, and they also cannot imperm, because they have our field spell, and we have Secret Village. So they're locked out of pretty much any out in the game. I'm trying to think what they could actually do. I don't really think there's really anything they could do. My opponent ends up summoning this. I let him attack because our card's protected. I wanted to show how this works. We negate, and the game is pretty much over. We swap, we pop. I saved the pop at the end because these cards would pop at the same time. So I was hoping he would set a card. And I don't want to pop both cards, because obviously if he's playing evenly or something, he could evenly me at that point, right? So he just ends up conceding. But that's how you play the deck for the most part. I'll show one more game, and then we're going to get into some real games. Alrighty, we're here at game number 2 in the last game for this deck, because the deck's, again, pretty linear what you do. We Fenrir, add Fenrir. It's going to be a good discard target later. we have the solo activation, so we don't need to do anything here. And then we hit a 6. Hitting 6 on this feels like a pot of pee almost. It's kind of crazy. And now we go into Electromite. So there's actually a big misplay I make here. So what I needed to do is activate solo activation a while ago, so I can use this effect, so I can make sure I search out the card I need, because I don't have level 4s right now, and it's gonna kind of bite me in the back later. I'm still got full combo, but I'm gonna have to play differently because of that. See, I like even this. I shouldn't have done that. So here's Beyond the Pendulum. I had the card, which is fine. I pen. See how I don't have 2 level 4s to play? It's kind of poor planning on my part. I end up going into Celine. I use this card to move this, which lets me add the Archer. I can summon Archer here. But now I don't get... Now, because of this, I don't get to end on Archer. So it's kind of sad, right? Or I could have ended on Archer before. So here's IP. But again, this card is protected, so we don't have to worry about... I know the attack's low, but we don't have to worry. The good thing about this combo, though, is now every turn I get to search a monster, because I get to swap these cards around. So there's at least an added benefit there, but I prefer the double pop against Trap. Or I guess he's playing Generator, so he's kind of just screwed. And he flips up Skill Drain, so he actually has an out for the Fossil Dino. But unfortunately, we know what deck he's playing. He's playing Generator, which again, this is kind of weird in Generator, but like his deck just can't play through Secret Village, so like we're just gonna win off of this. We just attack with everything. And he's dead. So boom. He's just showing he had Metaverse. He can't even activate it, so GG. I mean, again, the deck's kind of boring to watch, but the end board has good results. Hello, and now we're here with the Going Second Vaylantz deck, and this is much cooler in my opinion. The deck has really good, a lot of kaijus. We're playing, this is kind of like a pseudo kaiju, but kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have very good small world targets to go into them. And yeah, I mean, this deck is pretty much, you're looking, because you don't need your normal summon in this deck. So as you could see, we do full combo with Fossil Dyna, normal summoning at the end. So you can use that normal summon to summon a Lava Golem. And then guess what? You can use your Vaylantz cards to push back the Lava Golem. And then, on top of that, after you push it back, you can use this card to pop the Lava Golem and then gain attack, equal attack. So this card becomes 4,000 attack. And they take 3k damage. It's pretty hilarious. And this card comes back to our hand, which means you can Lava Golem them again. And it's a pretty fun interaction. And I don't know if this card's even once per turn. Yeah, this card's effect is not once per turn, so you can do this multiple times. So yeah, this deck's a lot more sweeter in my opinion. Obviously going first, you're not going to get wins or anything. It's not going to be like, I mean, you could still put a decent board up. You could put like IP with like Appaloosa or something, you know what I mean? But like, you're not going to really put up the wins like you do with the other deck. But you don't want to go first with this deck. You want to go second. So you're going to blind second the entire time. We are running Max C, and you guys might be wondering, why aren't you running Ash? Because we don't give a fuck if they draw a bunch of cards. We're trying to OTK them. Like, every game you're about to see, I have 6 games recorded. I'm not going to show all 6 games. I'm going to show the best games. I'm going to show, like, the top 3 or 4 games. They don't go longer than 2 turns. Like, this deck is very, very good at OTKing. So, yeah, so let's go into some matches, and you guys can see how the deck actually performs, and we'll talk about the deck after. Hello, we are here with game number 1 against Antid, and they are going to be playing Kashtira. Okay, Shangri-Ira. Okay, cool. So we're gonna maxi this originally, just to get a draw one, because we're trying to OTK anyway. So we're just gonna combo off. He's going to activate Max C. Before we activate anything, we're going to use this to get rid of Unicorn. I tried to negate this. Obviously, I missed negate. So now I'm going to... end up using this to end up moving this around. That's going to grab me Baron Buster. Baron Buster is going to try and move this around so I can bounce this card. I fail both coin flips because I'm good at this game. There's Beyond. He's going to Ash me. Pretty cool. Great thing is, this is why you run double Beyond. I had to bite the bullet on getting the second Beyond because it's just too good. Like, because it's not once per turn. So here's the second Beyond. Let's get our high scale. Here we scale. Our opponent Nibiru's us. But remember, he's underneath our max C still, so we draw 2 off of this. I activate triple attack to draw. And now I'm going to search for another card. Now we're pen summoning 3. And here we use, so the way I summon this card, there's 2 ways. 2 Vaylantz monsters, or this face down card in the extra deck must first be specialized by either fusion summon or tribute summoning 1 level 5 or higher non-fusion Vaylantz monster in the same column. So that's why you put it in that column. We have another column here too, so we could summon another one, but we end up going for this one because remember, we're just trying to pop him. We're just trying to like OTK him. We have like way more than enough damage, even if he has that 8k life points. So this is going to make GG for us. Alrighty, we're here with game number 2 against Uzi. And Uzi is going to be playing, yeah, so I'm going to try and max C this person. It's not going to go well for me because he has Ash. And this guy's just going to pretty much full combo me. So we're going to just fast forward through this, but he kind of pops off way harder than I expected he was actually going to pop off. He ends on a pretty crazy end board, to be honest. So, like, I thought his end board was going to be way worse than what it actually ended up being. But he's playing the Dealer Generous version of the deck, which definitely allows you to go into some extra wild shit here. Boom. There we go. Summons. There's a Borland. I mean, it is the funnest part about playing the game, right? Is just waiting for your opponent to like go through their 30-minute turn. At least the ban list should be pretty lit. Like, this deck definitely didn't get touched at all, so it's gonna be pretty fun to watch that. There's IP. Brings that back. Summons the Dark. Goes into Moral Savage. Dark grabs the second light. And now he has a target for Nightmare Phoenix if he has it. So the way we're going to try to OTK is we got to bait this negate out. And then maybe bait out the IP. But we're probably going to try and win with this Borland. We're like stealing it with the triple attack. So here we're going to call by his regains, which he does get a draw from this, but him not getting Drew's Worm is huge for us. So now we're going to get a top 5. And lucky enough, we hit solo activation at the last card, which is crazy, because now we can use this to get the field spell. We're going to get negate off of this, which is fine. He summons this an attack, which is great for us too. We're going to try and push this back. He doesn't negate. He has to negate that or he gets his card pushed back. Now we end up going into this because we're going to use this to try and pop the IP or negate it at least. Which he ends up going into Azazel, which he pops it. Which is, to me, is hilarious because now you just go beyond Pendulum. And we just full summon here. And the reason I steal the Borland and I play it here is because I wanted to get the most zones possible. But realistically, I didn't have to steal. I could have literally just summoned first and then did this. So, honestly, I didn't really need to steal it. I could have just literally just left it here. I don't know. I thought I was being big brain. I wasn't. So we're going to lower the attack. This is all fine. He's just dead. The attack with everything is enough damage. He kind of refused me from doing cool plays because I wasn't able to push his Savage Dragon back, but I'm pretty I'm like, I have to imagine he could have won that if he like hit the right targets. But either way, GG. Alrighty, we're here with game number 3, and we're playing against D Shifter. That's gross. And then Exo Sisters, pretty neat. The good thing is he already used packs, so we don't have to worry about him special summoning off packs. So he has to kind of have Stella in hand with another one to full combo, so he doesn't. And he grabs Returnia, and if he doesn't have another, like, if he doesn't have Vadas, then, like, I just Kaiju it because Returnia does nothing. So that's what we're gonna do. I end up summoning this, and we're gonna use this to push the shit back. We get rid of Returnia. I don't even remember what this is. I guess if it was an imperm, we probably would have used it already. And this guy's like super dead. But remember, this is actually like, this looks like a free win, but this is harder to play through than you think because we're under D Shifter. So like, I can't really go into like the pen shit like we normally do. So I actually have to get a little cheeky with this. We go into Chronochasm, and then we go into Dominator Duke. And now we're going to use Dominator Duke to special summon itself, and then I'm going to swap places. I'm going to use this to swap places, pop this card, which was Armnet, right? I guess you couldn't do anything with that either. And now I can, again, go into this to pop this to 2200. Now we can kill him. So it wasn't actually the super easiest lethal line that you would think, because we did have to like swap cards around a bit just to get the activations, because we wouldn't have lethal otherwise. Alrighty, for the next 2 games I'm going to show before we end this into the recap. These games are just hilarious, so this is why I wanted to show these. So I'm going to Small World, go into Lava Golem, or not Gamer Seal to get rid of Baron. Right, and this, I just found this really funny. So I use this to go into Shino. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If he just imprem this, I have no other plays. But since he doesn't, he lets me pop his back row. And now I get another Senate switch. But the thing is, I can't activate another solo activation. I can't activate this. But I can activate this to search a card. And I can still pretty much kill him. Like, I would probably say, unless I whiffed, because I was going to search the card that lets me look at the top, depends what I don't dice roll. If I hit with that, he's dead. If I don't, he's not dead. But he ends up conceding because he's embarrassed, I think, because he didn't know what the fuck was happening. Alrighty, and this is going to be the last game against James Master, and then we're against playing against Dragon Link again. Get used to this deck after that ban list, just saying. This is gonna be this is gonna be a tough deck. I mean, it's already a really good deck, but it's definitely gonna be really good because this and Rika both untouched, kind of crazy. A lot of other decks obviously untouched too, but some other decks were kind of caught in the crossfire, like with some of the hits. Like obviously, like Brandon caught hit too. On top of that, kind of out of nowhere, kind of crazy. But this guy, he has everything. He gets given everything by the game. Like Konami gives him everything, but he just somehow just like throws this game so hard. So he goes into Chaos Ruler. Like this, everything right now is like fine. Like everything he's doing is fine right now. He got able to sand regain, so that means he's gonna end on the Bestial line too. Pretty crazy. Summoning here is wild, but. And he has quick launch. Like, this man's got everything known to mankind. Like, I don't even... Wait, did he even use Boot Sector launch? I don't even think he used Boot Sector launch. I think he literally just used the rocket. Why would you even need to do that then? You could have just Rocket Tracer to get rid of Divine or Dragon. That was bizarre. Goes into Triple Burst. There we go. It is Borland. This card's gonna come back. Hot Red Archfiend. Oh, by the way, you guys didn't catch that, but he used Dragon Romulus to summon the Bestial in his hand, which is negated. And since now, for the only way he can extend is by activating Borland, like he only has one choice about negating the Hot Red Archfiend, which is terrible because it's a permanent negate, so he can't use Hot Red anymore. He goes to the Chaos. So now his end board should have been crazy, but now it sucks complete ass. Like, so we just Chaos Ruler for Lava Golem. Lava Golem, we're getting Lava Golem these away because this card's dead. We call by the Bestial. He has like nothing to interrupt us now. At least so I thought until I activated and he effect Veilered me. I was like, well, that's a little tilting because he top decked that Veiler because I'm pretty sure the last card in his hand is a White Dragon. So that was a top deck, which is pretty neat. We lower the attack. Beyond the Pendulum grabs our high scale. And he just concedes. I think he concedes because he's embarrassed of the fact he messed up. Which I thought was funny. I thought it was funny for the last 2 games. But you guys got the gist. Let's go into the recap and talk about the deck. Hello and welcome to the recap. Thank you for watching this far. If you guys enjoy this type of content, subscribe, hit that button down below. And also join our Discord. Discord's lit. We host tournaments every Friday. This Friday is going to be sick. So come on by. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We stream on Twitch as well, Tuesday and Thursday, Fridays. So check it out. We might end up streaming a little bit more, but I got to get into a schedule for that. Let's talk about how this deck was, though. So we're going to talk about the first deck, and then we're going to talk about the second deck. First deck, which was the going first variant. Again, fine. It was fine. I mean, like I said, if you put up the end board, you win games. You win most of your games. But with going second with that deck doesn't feel nearly as good because you're not running nearly as many going second cards. You still do have the Lava Golems that you can search out with Small World, so there is that. But personally, I like seeing the Kaijus more often. But yeah, the going first deck is really good. Alright? If I had to give the going on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to say the going first deck probably like an 8. Right? It's like really good, and it's really good, I think, specifically because we're in a best of 1. So there's no way people can really like put cards in for the deck. Like you can't really put Nibiru. Nibiru would drastically hurt the deck if you get nibbed like halfway through your combo. Like right before the Appaloosa line, it would definitely like hurt. It would be very, very painful because they wouldn't really have that much protecting the Fossil Dyna. And they wouldn't have really anything for the Secret Village. So they'd most likely be able to out the Dyna. And on a tier scale, I'm probably going to say the deck's probably around like a tier 3. Like I said, it's really good, but it does have its weaknesses. So if you end up interrupting the Beyond line and they don't really have anything else to go into Beyond again, and they have no way of getting their high scale. Like this is the weakest thing. The weakest thing about the deck is like the fact if you get like mess up getting the high scale, or your opponent mills it off of like a Kelbeck or something, like you're kind of donezo. It's kind of tough. Like there is lines to do stuff, but the lines are like wild. Like the line would have to be like going into like Grand Duke and then like getting Grand Duke into the pen zone, right? Like with maybe you use Viscount to secondary effect to put this into the pen zone so you have a high scale, but the lines are very like obscure, so it's not great. I'd put a tier 3 8. Okay, the going second deck, which I think is like very fun to play, and I think it's really good. I'm gonna say this deck is a solid 8 as well. It's good at going. It's really, really good blind second, and the only weakness, obviously, going first, it's a little lackluster. But for a blind second going second deck, like even going first, like the end board you make is not really that bad. Like you make probably like a format Apo with like Chronochasm and maybe IP, like not bad, right? Even a 3-mana Apo with that is pretty good. Obviously, it's not as crazy and oppressive as the other one, but it's not terrible. And obviously, going second, this deck has so many ways. Like, the fact this card is not once per turn is, like, mind-boggling to me. Like, I like how this secondary effect has, like, once per turn effects. It's a once per turn, and then this one, it just forgot to mention it. It's like, nah, you can just do this as many times as you summon a dog. Don't worry. But yeah, I think the deck's a lot of fun. So on a fun scale, I'm going to rate it pretty high. I'm going to give this pretty much the same rating as the other deck. Because it's pretty much the other deck, except just a different strat, right? The great thing about this archetype, too, is that archetype's, like, really cheap. Like, if you're, like, looking at, like, in-archetype cards that you need, it's really just, like, 4 or 5 URs, and then everything else is kind of generic. Like, cards you should have, like, maybe double Beyond's maybe not too great, but you can get away with 1 Beyond. It's not the end of the world, but if you played Pens already and you already have a lot of these cards, like, super easy deck to build, too. We didn't really get to showcase any of the Super Dreadnought plays, but pretty much you can. There is a world where you Lava Golem your opponent, and then you activate the Vaylantz to bounce the Lava Golem. Like, you push back the Lava Golem, then you activate this card to bounce it back to your hand, and then you Lava Golem your opponent again. And then you try and activate this card again, and then bounce it, and then activate this for the 2k. So that's 8k damage there. I thought it was very, very difficult to try and do that. But there was lines where we ended up just going into, like, double these guys. We burned them for 3k, then we end up going into the Juggernaut Lib. And then we OTK them with that. So there's definitely a lot of different lines there. But these cards by itself, they kind of finish the job. They do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. But I enjoyed the deck. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I was actually thinking about maybe doing some updated decks, what decks will look like after the ban list. So let me know if you guys think that's a great idea. But all right, hope you guys enjoyed, and goodbye.